Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Who's Taking Watch? The Dragon's Might. My name is Brad, and I will continue to be your DM for this arc set in the world of Robert Jordan's The Wheel of Time. Who do I have with me on my left?
You got Zach, and I'll be playing Dirk today.
You got Victor, and I'll be playing Lior.
And on my right?
You threw me off.
Yeah.
You've got Michelle, and I'll be playing Tal.
And I'm Marty playing Paige.
Wow, just had to throw you on your toes a little bit because I feel like we get too comfortable, and I can't have that.
I don't get comfortable. I stress the whole time, saying,
Every time.
I can't go too soon after Victor, or I'm gonna overlap him. But there can't be too much dead air. It's a thing.
I mean, on that note, if you're new to the show, we're just a bunch of people who like having fun. This is a show, Who's Taking Watch is a D&D actual play anthology-style show where we all take turns sending each other on different journeys through some of our favorite worlds of fiction. Like I said, this one is set in the world of Robert Jordan's The Wheel of Time, my favorite book series in terms of the fantasy genre. This isn't any sort of canonical venture. This is just an imagination of what sort of happened in parallel to the events of the first book. What was going on in the country of Ghealdan? I said it right this time. During the war with the Dragon Reborn. Or so some think. Logain Ablar. You got something to say, Zach?
No. I was like, where's my notes? My notes would tell me that.
If you want to catch up on the rest of our episodes, you can catch those right in our YouTube channel below. And our next episode will be airing next Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, with the podcast format of that shortly following the next day. I almost feel like I should make you roll a hit dice every time just to see if you'll be alive, but you got a boost. Paige is feeling survivable.
That's a 3.
Yeah, well, that's too good, so it doesn't count.
No, that's unnatural.
So with Paige finally not on death's door and a journey continuing along your really quality boat venture, I think we're going to go ahead and dive in, turn the page into the next chapter of Who's Taking Watch? The Dragon's Might.
Oh, yeah, I'm into it.
All right, quick recap. That's my reminder for myself. Okay, let's go. So, last time that we met up, this group had just managed to escape with most of their lives. Paige, arguably a skeleton, but still breathing, aboard the...
Silvertip.
Yep, that's the wrong paper. The Silvertip. Thank you. You guys are so good. Aboard the Silvertip, a boat that your uncle Ghealdan, Dirk, had arranged for you guys to take on your journey, first and foremost, out of the heat that you guys were under after stopping Brodeen at the Wall of Johanna, but also to further your goals. And those goals that had been developing for Tala, that goal was now trying to find your missing brother, Sammy, who had gone missing in action during this civil war while skirmishing with the Legion of the Wall some time ago. For Lior, this goal was still to make your way now, having done the actual work you were chartered to do, but to make your way to the curiosity that you had been made aware of, this request for help from the Ogier at Stedding Jinsiun for maybe checking in on their waygate with all the activity going on with the Civil War and making sure that everything was still well done. Dirk, your purposes were rapidly changing after this encounter with your brother, Larry. Larry? L-A''R-I. Now uncertain of whether your path was to go north to explore what was going on, to find dark friends within the army, or just to go north to get out of the situation you were in. And Paige was dealing with many questions, perhaps chief among them, the realization that you had strayed away from the mission that you had been sent for and hadn't been corresponding.
What was that mission?
What's up?
That mission she was on? Was that mission?
That's an interesting question.
Okay, just wondering.
Find and kill male channelers.
I mean, we can also say Kashmiri, not Paige.
Interesting. Yes.
Don't think anyone was there for that.
Just a huge Led Zeppelin fan. Nothing to see here. But starting to try and reach out, and with this experience of the voices overwhelming you and all the experiences that you had been engaged in, finding a way that you think that you might be able to harness them to send messages to those who weren't in front of your eyes, weren't maybe even that close to you within a mile, but tapping into some grander scale network. On this day of travels, you all had some moments of self-discovery where Tal, curious about the great picture book that you had managed to take out from the Jeheda Palace in Jahana, tied that into the strange item, the Sphere of Truth that Dirk was carrying around, and figuring out that it had some latent powers that let you know that your family was going to be just fine on the farm for now. Lior kind of crashed the boat a little bit, but no one knows that Lior did it, and that's what really matters. Paige looked at some cool pirate jewelry that definitely belonged to Uncle Ghealdan, and arose the next morning looking healthier and heartier, seemingly having found some item that bolstered your constitution. And Dirk, just before the sun rose, finally had a conversation with the voice that had been absent for a day.
Doesn't sound like me.
After learning a bit more about the different weaves that you might be able to channel, seemingly spirit personified, giving you a new weapon, a strange weapon. I love it. But no one can know about that now. You had to hide it from your friends. And that's where we pick up, is in the morning on this dawn of your rapidly approaching docking at Morburn, and before everyone can wake up, Lior had gone to bed quite early. And Dirk had resolved to maybe have a conversation with Lior. Yeah, this is poor timing. I'm sorry. You gotta take one for the team here. And Dirk thinks about maybe going to the washroom, but then sees Lior coming and goes, "Oh, now is the time." As Lior blearily in the morning looks over at Dirk, remembering that Dirk had said he wanted to talk to you about something.
Morning, big guy.
Morning, Dirk.
Sleep well?
No, that bed is so small. But
You should try sleeping on the floor.
maybe I'll give it a go. But we're going to be landing soon, so
That's fair.
that's
That's
a
fair.
problem anymore.
Listen, the others aren't up just quite yet. I wanted to check in and get a chance to talk with you since, that whole, you blew up a guy.
Well, I mean, I think he blew up himself, technically, but
Hey, don't sell yourself short. You absolutely were, like, most of the reason he blew up.
well, I suppose I played a contributing part in that, yes.
And that's what's important here, Lior. I was talking to Paige last night. While everybody was sleeping, it was a private conversation. I can't tell you what it's about. But what I can say is, I think I'm learning this ward. This is almost like a support system. And so we should lean on each other when we need it. And because I don't think that I can always be where I need to be, I need you to watch out for Tal for me.
Of course. You can count on me for that. That's not a problem.
Excellent. So, like, when Tal goes running off to the front lines, you're, like, right behind. Actually, in front, if possible.
That's impossible. She's
very fast.
Too fast.
So maybe just right behind. And, like, the thing with Tal is that sometimes she gets very distracted, and there'll be a bridge or a butterfly. And if she goes off that way, you kind of have to follow her.
I'll do my best, but I think we always leave Paige by herself. I think it's...
I know, but now we're getting closer to, like, this army people and this boat, and she insulted my brother, and I have no idea where he's gonna pop out.
That is a valid concern, Dirk. Yes, I will do my best to keep Tal safe.
Okay, excellent.
You're so mean.
What?
He's rolling for something.
Not rolling for anything.
It's a tender moment. What's wrong with you, Brad?
He's rolling for Larry proximity.
And then there was thing number 2. I don't think I can trust Paige with this. She might be a little too, like, finger on the... There's no triggers in this world, but finger on the fire.
Finger on the match.
There you go. Thank you. Sparking the flame.
There actually aren't matches either.
Finger on the tinder.
What is this world?
The striker.
Yes.
But there have been a few times where, even though it was necessary, right, we stopped the explosion of the wall, I seem to have lost myself. And I think that Tal is very capable, but she's young, and I think she might hesitate if something needed to be done, if maybe I needed to be held or, knocked out. And I don't think Paige is strong enough. So my second ask is that you keep an eye out on me. And if I were to ever, slightly run amiss, you just give me a little clonk on the head or something, or just maybe just whisper in my ear. Do something.
Of course, Dirk. I'm not sure I'm the best equipped to handle something when out of control, but I will do my best to...
Well, that's it. I think I need you to be out of control to be able to control me out of control. Seeing you do that to that guy, now I have the confidence in you. You're the only one capable of doing this.
Well, let's hope it doesn't come down to that, Dirk.
Well, let's absolutely hope.
Okay, but I will keep it in mind.
Thank you.
I realize it's much more complicated than I originally thought. I used to think that the way of the leaf, it was so beautiful and something that we should all do our best to ascribe to. And since I've been out, I've realized that, well, perhaps I was wrong. I was forgetting history. Ogier are not pacifists. We're peace-loving, but when the time calls for it, that sometimes perhaps violence is the answer.
I often find it is.
That you're smiling in a way that creeps me out, Dirk. There was, back in the age, during the breaking, when Luz Theron was still in control, there were even Ogier that used to fight under his leadership.
No way.
Yeah. And when the shadow comes and the final battle is upon us, Ogier will be there.
I like the sound of that. I don't think we can lose if we got Ogiers on our side.
Well, perhaps it's something that I should lean into. I realize that perhaps I should view this as an Ogier would, to see it as if If Ghealdan is a garden, and there are those that would suck the nutrients and stifle those around them, then perhaps I should be the gardener, to rip them out.
Leor.
Weeds need to be taken care of in order to allow the garden to flourish.
I don't know anything about gardening, but I trust you. Absolutely. I'll say, you want to know the beauty of the way of the leaf? Just thought of this. There are two sides to that leaf.
It's still a leaf, Dirk.
All right, but anyway.
Dirk, I do have a question for you, in all seriousness. Lewis Theron Telemon, when he enacted the actions that earned him the title Kinslayer, during his madness, it broke what was left of his sanity. So my question is, when your brother does come calling, do you believe that you will be able to do your best to protect Tal and the rest of us?
I'll be able to do my part. That's really where I'm hoping you come in. I don't know if I'll be able to face my brother. And if I can't, he won't hesitate.
He does seem like a vile man.
He is. He's really terrible.
Well, if I can help you avoiding the title of Kinslayer, then I will do my best.
You can take it. Kill him. I'm good with that. Oh no, but kin. We're talking about, well, we're kind of like bro. We're just friends for now. We're doing all right.
It's okay.
Yeah.
You can say that we're family too.
Yeah, it was kind of like that. But no one else is here. Don't tell Paige.
Well, speaking of people that Dirk thinks are really terrible, it's about this time that Paige wakes up, and Tal wakes up too. Tal probably badgering Paige a little bit. I feel like you're still thinking maybe a little bit that you can channel in like a special secret way that Paige doesn't get. But you guys all look at Paige as you walk above the deck, still tired, still very much in morning mode, but like, yeah, there's a little bit of there's Python sighting.
But it gave me the right answer, and there's no way that answer could have been inside of it. I channeled.
People guess all the time.
It literally said the White Cloaks are not going to go after your family. That's really specific.
It does sound specific, but did you fill in the blanks, perhaps?
Nope.
It's not...
I channeled.
We are all sure you did.
Just because you're not advanced enough in channeling to see what I did doesn't mean I didn't do it.
All right. Well, this bickering is beautiful to see, but I think
I am bickering.
we're getting to the docks.
And you guys do actually see you've made like spectacular time, in part because like the moment that you had a good wind prevailing you for the first day and like day and a half, and because of the efforts of Leor's tree song and Paige's mending, you were able to keep the boat in great shape despite the damage it took, and so you made great time, and you thought that you'd be getting to Moorburn later in the day, but as is tradition for me, when I send you guys traveling places, you make mysteriously good time. And you see the shape of a town. You can't really distinguish much at this point, but you see the shape of a town around the bend of the river start to emerge, and you imagine that you'll be there in probably about like 5 or 10 minutes or so.
Hey, Tal, would you be able to get up into the crow's nest and give us a
Halfway there.
bit of a layout of what we're heading into?
What? I can't hear you. I'm on my way to the crow's nest.
I'm gonna telepathically communicate. We need a layout now.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Wanted to make you uncomfortable, but nothing.
Tal, go ahead and make a perception check for me.
I'm a channeler now.
Yes. So you can make that Arcana if you want.
No, just a page had said that she wanted to spook me or creep me out. I'm a channeler now. Stuff like that doesn't creep me out.
I can probably talk to you.
Perception. 16.
16. You can't. At first, you're up there for a little bit. And a lot of it is you guys quickly realize that there's not a huge height differential here between where you guys are on the deck and there. It's not like there's a lot of trees in the way. But then
I'm like a foot away from the top of Leor's head.
You guys are on the verge of saying like, you know what, Tal, don't worry about it. But then you look up and Tal is really like taking this to heart. Is really trying to get that horizon, you know. And so you let Tal take the poll on this. And Tal, with a 16, at a certain point you start to realize that it's a bit of like a blur, like buildings are blending together from where you are. But then at a certain point you start to realize that that is just the state of things. It looks like the town has been largely razed, destroyed, and you can see we're long past the point of smoldering or any embers still remaining. But what you can see, and part of what makes it so hard to see the town, is that most of it is charred. The only thing that makes it stand out in that way is the couple of buildings that do still stand that were maybe built a bit further away from other ones. But you do start to see the town of Morburn appearing, unfortunately, to be a tribute to its name in this state.
Oh,
Rough. Guys, there's not much of the town left.
Oh,
Oh dear.
well, that's not good.
we should be ready for
Were
perhaps
we
an ambush.
expecting a town?
The town of, I believe.
Yes.
I believe, yes.
Okay.
We thought there was still a town left,
Yeah.
but perhaps they were on the bad side of the false dragon.
Should we be ready
Well-
for an ambush or?
Julian told me that the fight that they won barely was what he'd said. I didn't realize there was no town left.
Do you want to channel Paige? I'm Paige.
Are you?
The voices, yeah.
Telepathically. Do you want to channel Tal? And perhaps, guess to see if there's anyone left in there.
I squint really hard.
Make me an Arcana check.
I hate this. Do you have spell slots? What is going on?
6.
You pee a little.
This page below me.
Do you want Paige to be below you?
Paige would never be below Tal.
No, but I'm saving the big guns.
Okay, all right, that's fine. We should probably be ready for any trouble that may be waiting for us there. Do we have a plan?
Well, I suppose we try to see if anyone's left and try and get what information we can, see if we can help, and then we move on as quickly as possible. Especially if
Yeah.
there's company coming.
I doubt your brother's here if it's been already like 2 months since the fight.
No, Julian had said that they retreated. He'd said that the dragon army retreated north, and that we won, but by the skin of our teeth.
And then they lost Sam.
They lost Sammy on their way out, taking their wounded and such. I guess they took their wounded and such out because there wasn't much of the town left. But that was a piece that was missing in his intel.
Well, we're here until you're finished.
We can search the town, but if there's not much here,
We might need to move on.
then we might need to move north to find the army.
Right now, what you guys need to do is figure out who's trying to land this thing at the dock, because it's rapidly approaching.
I'm gonna get to the side of the ship and get some ropes ready to tie off.
How would I do that and you drive the boat?
How do we slow it down?
I'm at the sails.
Do I row the oars the opposite way?
Yes, that is a great idea.
I will do that.
I'm going to get by the wheel to try and bring it close, but not crash it in. And
I'll get ready to tie it off.
perfect.
For sure.
I'll
So
get on the other one.
You might
I'll
want
get on
to
the other oar.
be ready to jump out onto the dock and stop the ship from hitting the side.
I will. Yes.
who's steering? You're steering? Okay. Who else is doing what?
Rowing oars in the opposite direction to slow
Okay.
down.
getting ready to try and, as we get close to the dock, if necessary, try and stop it from destroying the front, and tying off any ropes once it's
You
settled.
know when the ship's coming into the harbor and you're like, oh, it's gonna hit, and
You, like-
move it away from the side.
No, you get to
Okay.
the edge and you stick one foot out to push off.
So,
Never done.
so what I need from you is an intelligence check.
All right.
So
What
glad you're
I need
cool
from
with this.
you guys are athletics checks.
And I need a constitution check because I get smushed.
That depends on how your check depends on how this goes. Quite honestly,
Is this your way of taking my health away, Bradley?
I'll never tell.
This is raw intelligence.
19, baby.
14.
21.
Wow. Okay. So you just need to make, I guess, yeah, it might be a strength check, athletics as well. I was gonna say if it might have had to have been it might have had to have been dexterity to like try and reach out and grab it if you guys were far away. But yeah, just a strength check because you just are trying to stop things here. Or athletics.
That is 19.
Dang, that's quite good. So steering the boat, you realize that you've gone a little bit too far into the bank and it starts scraping. You guys pretty quickly intuit that, and whoever's on the bank jams their oar and pushes you guys off just in time for Lior to grab one of the posts on this small dock and hold on to it, and you see the post start to like sort of flex and tilt, and you guys all have this moment of "Ugh," but you managed to get your boat to the dock and tie it off without any further issue. Now what you see as you get off, as you deboat, I knew you were gonna do something.
Stop right there.
What you guys see as you get to shore is a town that is largely, again, charred. You can see in the center of this small town, just, barely more than like a little like village. There's enough things that you could tell that there were probably a couple of businesses, but not much. It's on a shipping route, so it had to have some utility, but most of it is charred. Everything that is sort of arranged in the center of the town, save for a fountain that is in nice shape in the center, but is not running. There is a squat, real sturdy looking building in the center of it all that looks worse for wear, but structurally intact. And you could see a sign on the front facade of the building that has an anvil. This was a building that was made to be able to tackle unfortunate fires. Elsewhere, you see on the outskirts of the building, buildings that might have been once brightly colored, now snowed in. You could just see bits of a roof peeking through where some of the wind might have taken it off. But by and large, the center of the town is gone. You also see scorch marks in the ground as you are walking off of the docks and deciding whether or not to head straight in. But you see marks on the ground that are scorch marks, and you see marks on the ground that are like clear gouges from like some blade or some metal scrape. Clearly there was some sort of fracas here, which is not hard to intuit from what you've gathered. But can I get everyone to roll me a perception check real quick?
Would I be able to subtle cast a detect thoughts just to send a web out and try and feel any Any other feelings, emotions?
Sure. What's the range on that?
30 feet.
Okay. Perception?
Dirty 20.
Natural 20.
Oh.
5.
Lucky number 11.
Lucky number 11. Very nice.
Quick question. I don't know if there's any sort of linchpin on the boat that we can remove just in case there's anybody here who jumps on our boat and sails away. I don't know anything about boats.
I don't know what a linchpin is.
What is a linchpin?
Oh, it's like a
Okay.
crucial piece
Did
that
you
you can take. Like, you know, if you have a bicycle, you take the seat off the bicycle so nobody steals your bicycle.
Did you see how many people it took to stop this boat? I don't think one person's getting away with this boat.
Famous last words. Famous last words.
As the two of them are arguing about a linchpin, you look and you see that you can see the ground. It's not totally covered in snow. And so you quickly figure out, okay, someone has been here. And you could see boot marks in what snow that there is. What you see is a faint bit of smoke, not from a burning building, but from a small fire that is emerging from what looks like the forge in the town.
I'll point it out and say, over there at the forge, I see smoke. I doesn't look threatening. Should I be careful?
Let us go. I think. Perhaps me not first. How about that?
I'll go.
Yeah, it could be your brother.
I'll come with you.
I'll protect Paige.
Linchpin! I stealth away quietly.
Okay, that's my favorite code word, quite honestly. As you're trying to be stealthy about it, okay, make me a stealth check.
If I'm going with, should I?
Make me a stealth check.
That's right.
Could I
Make me a stealth check. No, what are you asking?
could I try and do two things? I'm looking for one to see if the way the buildings seem to have burned seems organic. Does it seem like a fire started and then swept, or does it seem like more sporadic?
Okay.
Like they were set at multiple places. And the other thing I'd be looking for, if you'll allow me, is to see are there any crows present? Because the last time we were in a little town, there was a crow, and I didn't like it. So,
So make a survival check, and then make a animal hatred check. No, just a perception check.
21 on stealth.
24 on stealth.
Oh my gosh, you guys silently get to the door. You see that any windows are sort of like drawn, and not really too many facade windows at a forge either, so it doesn't seem to be much of an issue. But you get there, and listening at the door, you hear silence, bit of a crackling fire, and then what sounds like maybe a creaking floorboard, like there's someone who just took a step inside.
9 on survival and 14 on perception.
Kind of hard to tell on the fire. It looks like there was a bit of a chaotic scene here. You know, there was a real melee. On the 14, you don't see any crows.
They're here somewhere.
No, I'm kidding. No crow. No. You said there was no opening at which we can see inside the forge.
There might be like a small little window in the door, but you know, peeking in would make your forehead there.
Don't want to put my forehead.
You know what they say? It will put your forehead there.
Do I knock?
I'm going to communicate telepathically, saying, "I will knock. Stand at the ready beside the door if I need help." How does that sound? I will go and I will knock. And
You just hear. Who is it?
just travelers. We mean no harm.
From north?
No, we hail from the city, Johanna.
Right. And then You see a face look back at you. A bit like real messed up, not really well kept hair, and an eye. And then,
Oh, hello.
hello, and opens the door, and there's a person there who hasn't just visually hasn't hung out in a while. I don't know if you've ever seen that show Alone on like Discovery, where they drop a bunch of people to live alone in the woods, and they do all these self-confessional tapes. After a while, their confessional tapes start to be like hey, you saw a rabbit today. That's roughly the state that this individual is in, and they're looking at you and like sort of wringing out their hands, going, hello, what are you doing here?
We just arrived in town and we saw that there's been quite a battle here. Just wanted to.
Yes, there was quite a battle. Why would you? What are you?
We're looking for information.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna get a sense. Is this guy? He's alone, from what I gather.
Seems to be alone. You're not picking up any other pings.
Okay, perfect. I'm gonna say we're just here looking for information. We mean no harm. Tal, would you like to come out?
I'll step out.
Oh. Hello.
I was hoping you were my brother. Not a brother, a specific brother.
I'm pretty certain I'm not.
Yeah, I don't think you're Sammy.
I apologize. No.
It's okay.
My name's Brent.
Hello, Brent. I'm Paige.
Hello, Paige.
And this is Tal.
Hello, Tal. Welcome to. I guess I don't have many visitors these days. Welcome to Morburn.
Thank you. We're wondering what happened here. We heard the army was here.
Why are you still here?
Oh, well, the Legion pays to have me stay here, and they were looking for volunteers at first, but then no one volunteers, and I said I would do it for a small fee. But they're just wanting someone to be here to make sure that there is a presence, because they're patrolling and such now that they've reclaimed this block of land. So every couple of days they come around, but they don't really stop in anymore. So it's sort of just me.
Were you here for the fight?
Smile falters, as much as you could say that it was a strong smile to begin with. The smile falters and goes, yeah, it was not good.
Can I would like to probe on that. Just trying to understand.
Just surface thoughts?
Surface thoughts, that's right. Just understand, was there an incident that specifically targeted him, or is he just talking about the... Is he this way for a reason before the fight, or did something happen?
You get sort of cobwebs is sort of the first thing. And you could sense pretty quick the first attempt at who is it? Hadn't used the voice in a while, and it's still sort of this is a 2-month morning voice that is still trying to find its way to what they might usually sound like, or what Brent might usually sound like. Okay. But when you say what happened here, the mixture is immediately a lot of fear. And then there is a bit of a reaction of shame as well. Okay. But mostly overriding that is fear. It was awful. It was horrifying. Everything's gone. And most people are also gone.
Are you from Morburn?
Yeah, I am from Morburn. My whole life.
I'll clap him on the shoulder. I'll say...
Flinches back a little bit, but then you do, and it's like remembering social cues.
I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank you. I'm lucky to still have my business for whenever there's town again. But, yeah, what, do you have a boat? And looks past you guys. Who are you? Did you sail that yourselves?
Yeah.
We did. We are here looking. We're looking for the army of the false dragon.
Why?
We believe they have someone.
Did they take prisoners?
Yeah. Took a lot of prisoners.
I think they have my brother. My brother was fighting for the Legion.
If he was fighting for the Legion, you'd be better off hoping that they don't have him and that he's just dead. I'm sorry, that was really blunt.
Nobody saw him die, though. So, if I hope that he's dead, but he's not, and I leave him there, you see where I'm going?
Admiration and shame. I see where you're going, but they're a whole army. You're a kid. What are you gonna do about that?
Armies have kids running around all the time. Who's gonna notice one more?
That's actually a pretty convincing argument.
If you come up with a full army at your back, of course they're gonna know that you mean trouble, but one more kid following along with an army full of brats?
That would... Yeah, that's, Paige, make me a perception check real quick.
I'm rolling fantastic tonight. That is a 0. 15.
Amazing. I thought you rolled a 0. I was like, you baited me again. You see behind Brent in this, like, it probably was a shop, but it looks like he has just converted it to a living space since then. But you see behind, next to a fireplace that is clearly just like a forge that he put some logs in, you see a little rocking horse with a terribly, terribly felted blue lead on it. And he goes, well, you've got guts. I can't say that you're too smart, but I admire your tenacity. What information were you looking for?
Did you know any of the soldiers who are stationed here? Or who came to fight?
When she says soldiers, you get a quick sense of, like, which side. And he goes, oh, no, I didn't know any of the Legion. They came in to break up. The people of the dragon were occupying the town, and they came in to break that up, so they were in and out and back again, and can't say they made much conversation. They sort of just gestures broadly at that town, went to business.
We're hoping to get somebody out, one of the prisoners. Do you know anyone who was taken?
I don't know any soldiers who were taken. You hear a litany of names. Ma Dobbins, Kyler, Brent Duh. You can clearly catch in his mind there's like, it's Brent with a D before the T, and confusingly there is a Brent but you, just a bunch of names going through. He goes, can't say I met any soldiers, no.
All right. Did you witness it, the fight?
And at that, he goes, it was a little bit hard to see, and the shame response pops up really big, and you hear a small internal voice go, can't see much when you're hiding.
Okay. I wasn't sure if the shame was because he was on the dragon's army and then regretted or not, so this is confirming. That's all right, as long as you're safe. You are more use here, alive, than you would be captured. Do you know or have any idea where they went?
north. As far as I can tell, they only make the travel because they're in such large numbers, but it's a terrible trek north across the tundra this time of year. I frankly wouldn't recommend it for just the two of you. I would take that boat as far as the Bourne goes and work your way back east from there.
Duly noted. Do you have any idea how large the army was? What their numbers were?
I can't say how large the army was. I can say that the force that was in Morburn was about 100 people.
100 people.
But even though there were more of us than there were of them, it's hard to measure up to 100 people who seem hell-bent to get what they want and don't have any particular restrictions at stopping themselves from getting it.
I understand. 100 organized voices chanting the same thing is a force to be reckoned with.
Oh, they weren't organized. It was a nightmare. It was a chaos show. That's why the town gestures broadly.
Did you see any funny business? Anything that seemed out of the ordinary?
Outside of the town being totally destroyed, I can't say I did.
We have to move quickly, but I have 2 questions for you.
Okay.
1, can you think of anything that we need to know before we go north? Anything important? No matter how small.
They were talking about the indecision of wanting to move and wanting to travel, but then some of them were upset that Logain wanted to stay where they were, and it seemed like there was sort of a split. One of them, this loud fella with real short fuse, was really adamant on moving, but he changed his tune shortly before the fight and was seemingly content with staying in Ghealdan. The only other thing that you would need to know is that it's great to be brave, and I wish I was sometimes. But I would advise you to remember when it's smart to be brave and when it's smart to make a unsavory decision for your own benefit.
I'm very lucky in my friends that they usually make that choice for me.
Friends? I thought it was the two of you. What are you guys doing?
I'm looking for a linchpin in the boat. I've tried to remove the steering column.
Cool.
And after I figured it's attached, I've tried to take some of the sails down. And about halfway through that, I realize I won't know how to put them back up. So I keep them up and I'm just standing on the boat waiting.
Leo is staying not too far away from where we get off and where we can see the forge, but he is very alert to make sure that there is no unwelcome visitors at the same time as us. So just making sure that if they're in there talking, that if there's any trouble coming, I'll have time to go and get them.
Okay, sure. So I'll just assume that you're passively looking out, or actively looking out, but as things progress.
Exactly. Yes.
I'll passively look.
Okay, for sure. And you're sort of looking over and just trying to pay attention to what's going on in your surroundings, and you're just hearing
Do you even know what a linchpin is?
Shut up. Why don't you tell me and start acting so smart?
I don't think you know what a linchpin is.
I don't. Is it this?
No, that's a tea saucer.
Who puts tea in this? Damn it.
That's pirate jewelry.
you're just picking up different things that are on the boat.
That looks like to be a plant that your Ogier friend grew when he was mending things.
You could see spots around where like Lior had been doing his Paige's spots are like perfectly patched up. They look better than new. There are like little sprouts growing out of the spots that Lior was fixing up.
Little mossy pillows that
Yeah.
you left for night.
And you guys are sort of like standing with like a good vantage point and looking over and goes, your friend over there looks pretty tall. Huh. Interesting. You said there was one more thing you needed to know.
We're going to the army, and we're going to where they have prisoners, because that's where they'll have my brother. Is there a name I should be listening for you?
Brenda? She was, and catches himself. She's my mom. If you can find her, then yeah.
I'll
Just
keep
trails off, can't really find any words.
I'll keep my ears to the ground.
Okay. Like scrubbing his eyes with the back of his hand. I'd offer you tea, but I kind of am just having jerky.
We're in a rush.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
Hope to see you soon, though.
I hope so. Visit again. Maybe we'll have a town or a tent or something next time you come back.
It will be better. We're going to help make it better.
I'll hold you to that. Goes like clap you on the shoulder and then go, ha.
Tal, head back and tell our friends that what we learnt. I'm going to stay and write a letter for the army the next time they're coming back.
What?
I'm going to write a letter to someone I need to write a letter to.
Who do you have to write a letter to?
Sometimes you have to write letters to people.
Yeah, but there's no way for her to send it from here.
Huh. I find that writing gets a lot of the feelings out, and you look and you see there's like a bunch of notebooks on a table that are just like all open and all at the last page. I find that writing is just a helpful act on its own.
Can I insight check Paige?
Sure.
You can do it. Paige will say.
Plus a bajillion.
I'm not hiding anything. I don't know.
Yeah, you have expertise. Remember that.
Dirty 20.
You can tell that.
Nope, 23. Dirt 23.
You can tell that you're perhaps not the only one looking for something.
Friends can help.
What?
And I'll like walk back to the...
And you'll walk back to the ship, okay. And you guys see Tal start to come back and maybe start readying to leave.
I didn't find the linchpin. Sorry.
Do you know what a linchpin is?
No.
I'll start talking to him about a linchpin.
You're literally holding one of the oars.
Without this, they can't drive the boat.
You've been using that for a different thing.
Once Tal leaves.
Brent, I'm going to leave a letter with you. This letter needs to find its way to a cerulean safeguard. If you
I'm
don't
aware
mind.
of where the letter needs to go.
All right.
I'm a little bit surprised. When they told me I needed to stay here, I did not think that I would be of much use, but hey, stranger things have happened. I have a letter for you as well, but what do you need me to send off?
Well, let me write it down.
Who are you, Bradley?
Stop holding the microphone.
I need to show the people who are watching how surprised and shocked I am.
Good.
The betrayal needs
What
to
did
be
you need?
clear.
Could you write down?
Never insight.
Adelaide Sedai. Trouble in Johanna. White cloaks. Had to leave. Left for Morburn, village has been attacked. Dragon's army, 100 strong.
They know that part. They just told me to stay even after the... It's your message. It's your message.
It's important you put in information to let them know that I have information. It's really important.
Oh, it's more for you. Understand.
That's that's exactly what
I
it
understand.
is.
I understand.
Okay,
Sometimes you need a little boost.
I am tough. I am strong. Wow. Don't write that. 100 strong.
Something out.
100 strong, headed north. Potentially have a member of the army of Johanna.
The Legion of the Wall.
Legion of the Wall. Might be using them for information. That is all. Could you sign KS?
That checks out. I've got a letter for KS right here. And runs over to his desk and grabs a letter and says, now, speaking of the army, you're probably going to want to leave soon because I think they're on patrol due to come back through here today. And it doesn't seem like a rickety boat traveling up the river. I'm sorry, I don't want to disparage your craft. A boat traveling upriver is probably not sanctioned at this time, so you probably want to get on.
I appreciate the information. We'll be off right away. Do you mind if I stay here and read this?
Certainly.
With my back to the... Unless the door is closed, but with my back to the rest, I will read the letter.
Out loud?
My dear Dirk.
This is your daddy.
I got like halfway through the letter.
This is scheme behavior.
I'll read it quickly, and then, which I will not waste now, and I will say, thank you very much for this. Stay safe.
Certainly. Genuinely, I hope you make it back. This is the first people that have been here since, the happening. Immediately regrets everything he's doing. Be safe.
We will.
Yes.
Thank you.
Good day. Blue skies.
Safe. God. Yeah.
What?
Not working.
I don't think yours is a thing.
No, I was trying to...
While this
Goodbye, Brent.
While this exchange is happening, Lior, you see two similar-sized figures as you're seeing Tal walk back towards you. You see two similar-sized figures skulking along one side of the the burned-down section, trying to head to where Tala is. Give me a perception check.
Oh, dear.
They look like they're about 50 feet away.
That is a 17.
That is a 17. You can see that they are armored in a familiar set of armor.
All right. But Tal is still paces away?
Tal is still walking from the center of the town, which is, a couple hundred feet away from you. It's not right next to the dock. Back to the dock where you guys can see. It looks like they will catch up to her before she makes it to you.
Okay. We'll just try and call back to Dirk in somewhat of a hushed voice that doesn't carry to them, and just say, Dirk, we have company. I think it's the Legion. I'm going. And I'm gonna, as I promised Dirk 5 minutes ago, I'm gonna go and just make sure that I try and close the distance to Tal.
Sure. And as I know that, like you said, you saw the linchpin, but I'm just gonna.
Yeah.
As you're making your way back to the boat, give me a perception check. Or what's your passive perception, rather? 13. You are walking, and then you just see, you hear and you see Lior jump over onto the dock and start making his way towards you. And before you can go and see, even take a moment to look around and see what's going on, you watch and you feel as these two figures, you just feel two people grab either one of your arms and start trying to drag you off.
I try to get out of that real quick.
Make me an acrobatics check.
$15.
15. You wriggle out your left arm, and you hear a ah as one of the figures falls over, but the other one has a real strong grip on you. And as you swing around, you look and you see, just hitting the ground, a member of the Legion of the Wall, who gets up and goes like, "Would you just stop? We're trying to help you." And you see Otto looking up at you.
What the heck are you doing here?
Getting you away from these crazy people. We heard what happened at the wall. We gotta go now.
What are you talking about?
There's people who can channel. Tal, that's oh god, the big guy's coming, and you're you're thundering down the dock towards them.
I just start smacking them both. You two are such idiots.
Oh, why are we idiots? Tal,
Because they saved the
stay
wall.
back. Stay back.
It's
They
my
pull out
brothers.
puny swords. Stay back.
It's like
Get away from our sister.
both of you put that away right now.
Give me an intimidation check.
Or I'm gonna tell Mom on you.
Give me an intimidation check with advantage.
I rolled a 3 and a 1.
Amazing.
They consider and they're like, "You're too far away. Mom can't hear you." And they go to just start trying to. They're like, one of them's Cyrus still has a hold on you and is trying to like drag you back, and Otto's like wavering and going. "You let us take our sister away from you and the two crazy ones with the."
I'm gonna keep smacking them. They saved the wall, you idiots!
What are you doing?
At this point, I'm seeing that people are trying to drag someone away, and I'll
Yeah.
probably hop off the boat and just take off and
Yeah.
go, Tal!
Yeah, and Otto just goes.
You don't need to bring the ore!
No, stay away. You can see clearly, word has gotten around of what happened at the wall. There were witnesses.
Yeah.
And, there's a clear indication of what has gone on here. You hear,
Put away the letter. Goodbye, Brent.
"Goodbye!" Slams the door.
They saved the wall. You're part of the Legion of the Wall. You wouldn't be much of a legion without a wall, now would you?
I don't care if they saved the wall, Tala. This guy can...
They're helping me.
How? No, you need to go home.
Do you know where Sammy is?
No.
I'm going to get him.
We miss him so much. They both just collapse. This is what you walk up upon. They're like, there's a guy who can channel, and there's that lady can channel, and we don't know where she is. She could be anywhere.
Going on? Are you crying?
You just see.
We're trying to save our sister.
She's fine. You remember Auntie Charlotte? Well, you remember Mommy talking about Auntie Charlotte.
Yeah, well, we were like 4. We remember Auntie Charlotte.
Girls are allowed to channel.
Right.
Whoa, what?
Would it make you would it make you feel
We
better?
work for the city. We kind of like have an in for like information. You guys kind of made a bit of a stir.
I just thought...
They heard about what happened at the wall. I mean, you guys weren't subtle. Not like me.
Did you tell them that you channel too now?
What? What have they done to you?
Sorry.
Really? Now?
She's channeling right now. She's charging her powers.
Do you guys want Sammy to be okay?
I mean, of course, but what are any of us going to do about that?
If you want Sammy to be okay, you have to send an important message to Julian.
Why Julian? We're supposed to report to Julian now? Cyrus goes, Otto, technically he's our superior officer. No, we don't have to talk about that right now.
Because Julian has Felix's ear, and Felix has the general's ear. But it can't come from you guys to Felix. He'll never listen.
That's a good point.
Just like he didn't listen to me. We're on the same side here. You have to send a message to Julian.
Roll me a persuasion check.
Or I'll tell Mom on you. No advantage.
No.
I'm trying.
No, you burn that bridge.
8.
We'll try, but we're not in the city that often.
You gotta sneak in.
What do you mean sneak in? We're on a patrol. We're on a patrol.
Are you guys here alone?
I mean, we came in advance. We volunteered to be the scouts because we heard that you had gone upriver.
How far's your patrol?
Oh, not far.
We need to go.
We have to go. Tell Julian
Yes?
the sun rises in the north. He'll know what it means.
Pretty sure it rises in the south.
That's why it's a message, dummy.
Ah, like a code.
Yes. The sun rises in the north. Repeat it.
The sun rises in the north. And you could tell that like they're kind of like forgetting and then like filling each other in on it already.
Okay.
What does that even mean?
It's a code. Julian will understand.
Okay.
But I have to go, or else we're never gonna see Sammy again. I'll be okay, I promise.
They like
Pinky swear.
they are turning and like very much brave facing. Especially they're like kind of brave facing looking at you. Like giving you like very much a we're gonna protect our sister and not bring anyone to the tower or anything like that. You know, you can't bring her to channel. And then quickly they turn around and look at you two and go, yeah, we promise.
All right, the sun rises in the north.
The sun rises in the north.
Okay. And when anyone asks about your little brother, and I punch them both in the shoulder.
Paige is going to be looking at them. Like,
You say that you don't know anything.
Okay.
Okay, go fast.
Yeah, you should
Bye.
go fast too. I think
I
they're
give them-
probably like a couple minutes behind us.
I give them both noogies and we jump on the boat.
Okay. And they kind of sit there, like, sort of going, how did our brave plan not work so great?
as Paige runs by, she's like, "You are just like she told us you were. Pleasure meeting you both."
I think we've met before, actually.
Yeah, like legit. Paige is the worst.
Yeah, Cyrus goes, we met like 5 or 6 days ago.
That's why you looked so similar to each other, but
She's met like 5 of us in the last week.
It's true, that's a lot.
Cut her some slack.
Yeah, for sure.
goodbye, Julian. No, Felix. No.
Cyrus and Otto, let's go.
Goodbye.
They go, okay, goodbye. We better send our scout back, report back that the coast is clear. And they go to start pulling a horn to their mouth.
Give us some time. As much as you can.
Okay. We'll just pretend we got lost again. Cyrus is like, I can't believe they usually believe it. Like, they believe that we would ever get lost. It buys us some time. And they kind of just, like, both sit there. So quickly, it is pivoted from them, like, thinking they could, like, sort of tag team it and get you with numbers. As soon as they were challenged with a modicum of authority, they've quickly turned around to, all right, well, bye. But it is in your best interest to get a move on out of here.
We're scooching.
You guys hop back on the boat.
I grab a catatonic Leor. Let's go, big guy.
Victor? You fully just said Victor.
No. It's
Leo.
Oh, I heard Victor.
Wow.
We're
Remember
gonna watch
all
the
the-
playback.
Remember all the time she heard dirt?
To be fair, I also heard dirt.
Paige will start taking off the ropes and be like, "You're right, we did meet them. I'm getting them all confused."
You guys get yourself ready to sail and are out of there in a flash.
Tal starts chuckling. He's like, I wonder what Julian's gonna do when he gets an absolutely nonsensical message.
I was gonna message you and be like, does Julian need to know what that means?
No.
Such a brother move, honestly. You guys are sailing off, leaving the town sort of in your wake, and as you are leaving the town in your wake, you're seeing what looks to be a small little group of like ants walking around and looking at the town and looking in your direction, but quickly gauging that this is not a distance that can be covered. And you sail off out of the town.
What took you so long?
What?
Paige was...
I'm Tal.
Your Paige, sorry, Tal.
Yeah.
Was just accosted by her brothers. Before Leor could get to her, you were supposed to be with her.
I left after her.
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
Did you find the linchpin?
Roll for linchpin.
Yeah, it was almost an 18, but it's a 5.
No.
No. I don't think there's one on the boat.
That's fine. We'll look for it next time we get to a dock. Keep rowing in the meanwhile.
Yeah, while I row, you could tell me the story of what took you so long.
Yes, I could do that, but they're hot on our heels and I need to get to the wheel.
We're in the water and they're on land.
This boat is like huge. It's basically 10 feet.
You're having this conversation from your respective positions, totally capable of doing this.
I definitely need to see where we're going.
Somewhere an eagle in the sky goes "Ah!" like a real the stock eagle sound effect at the beginning of Kings and Queens by 30 Seconds to Mars. Really cinematic.
We are
She had to send a letter.
What? What letter? Paige?
I had to send a letter.
To who?
Who do you think?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
That's a very good question. You really wanted to know? Dirk, you see it. I'm looking for information. When I have the information, I send it to the people who want it.
Did you find information you wanted?
I did. And that's why we're going north.
To meet with the people you sent the letter to.
Did it say that?
I don't know. I'm asking.
It might have said that, but it does not say that.
Okay.
Dirk?
Wait, why are we going north?
Isn't that our plan? To head north?
Yeah, but you just said you got a piece of information about going... What?
What? Why is everyone asking me this? We learned the information. We know that the dragon's army is north, and that's where the prisoners are. And
To catch you up to speed, Leor, what's just happened since you've just exited your catatonic state is that Paige here sent a letter to someone we don't know who about something we don't know what, about information she just found out about. So we're just hoping this might be a time.
Wait, you told somebody that we were going north?
No. I told... After I say this, I am done answering these interrogative questions. I understand you're curious. But this is what I have to do. I sent a letter north, stating where the dragon's army was headed, approximately how many they were, and that they captured people. I sent this letter to my sisters. Are we done here?
You have sisters?
Nothing about us.
Nothing about you.
Okay, I'm gonna make an insight check.
Absolutely.
It's terrible. But it's an 11.
I rolled a 12.
A natural 12.
Plus a million.
Alright.
You have sisters?
Yes, Tal. I do.
Can you tell me about them?
Not right now.
Tal, roll me a history check.
I suppose my only question is, will this put us in danger in any way?
I can assure you it will not put anyone on this boat in danger.
All right. Well,
19.
You remember having a conversation with Paige last week where you asked, do you have any brothers and sisters? And Paige's answer was, I have one older brother.
Hey!
You can't hide from me forever, Martin. Foist it on your own petard.
That history check was not... Can I roll deception again?
No.
You told me you only had one big brother.
I did.
So who are your sisters?
I told you I had a brother before I could trust you. Do you not remember? We met trying to help a lady who had been robbed. You killed a man in front of me. And then,
You
the
cannot
night later,
keep bringing that up after everything that has happened.
I'm going to talk over her in her mind. And then that night, your friend threatened to kill me. It was the night after, to be fair. The first couple of days knowing you was terrifying. I had to be careful.
After everything that's happened, you gotta stop talking about that.
I'm surprised that's what you focus on every time. I will,
So who are your sisters?
Never mind. Not now, Tao.
She still doesn't trust me.
Sometimes you have to give a little space. Let things breathe a little bit.
I've killed people a lot less violently than everyone else in this group.
You guys all have a throwback to Tal harpooning a man from a boat a day and a half ago. splitting him in twain. Yeah.
But that was from a distance.
Oh, you're right. From a distance doesn't count.
Actually, both my kills were at range, so
It's like a
I
gun,
didn't
you
get
know?
up close and personal.
yeah, it wasn't intimate.
I didn't have anyone's
Not
blood
like
on
Leor's.
me.
Dirk's there. His was great.
This guy absolutely slammed a man.
Paige, I'm gonna leave you alone, but eventually you're gonna have to choose to trust us. That's all I'm gonna say. I go up 10 feet to the crow's nest.
She does have a point there, Paige. In due time.
You know, Dirk, you're probably the only one who can truly relate to the feeling of being constantly hunted down. You're probably the only one who could truly relate to the feeling of wanting to play their cards close to their chest. You're probably the only one who wonders every morning if they're going to see the next, just for being who they are. How many people do you trust?
I thought I could trust the three of you. And I'm not sure it's all of us yet.
I gave you my word.
I know. I'm sorry. You can understand.
I can understand. I gave you my word that I won't do anything to get you in harm's way. Anyone here. Beyond that, there are things that I cannot control. Things that I have pledged to, things that I have been asked and tasked to do. Things that I'm sure you can relate to in that sense. And to be caught between your own personal judgment and the promises you've made can be a very tight place once in a while.
I understand. But I threw away all my promises. I gave up my old life. And I've learned to trust in others, like I trusted you last night. So I may understand why you keep secrets, but I don't understand why you've kept them for so long.
Dirk, I've been told to be very careful with who I trust and how I act around people. The people that I've been told are the least trustworthy, rather most dangerous, match your description in two ways. When I first met you, I wasn't sure if we were going to stay in proximity of each other or end up killing ourselves. I'm sure you wanted the same thing. And I think how far we've gotten is a testament to what we believe and what we value. But while you have set your past behind you and ran away from it, I'm in a different chapter of mine. I have to prove myself on one hand, and on the other, I want to keep you and Leo and Tal safe. It is juggling two separate balls in two separate hands without either of them touching each other, which sounds simple, but as soon as you send white cloaks and early morning getaways in a boat, things get a bit harder to do.
Paige, go ahead and roll me an insight check.
It's a 19.
A couple of things strike you. For one, it's not a secret. This isn't even information from the inside check, but you know exactly what Dirk's referring to when he says, I don't think I can trust everybody. It's not all of us yet. The other thing, too, is that when Dirk talks about trusting like I trusted you last night, and Dirk is openly talking about giving away all of his secrets, you could tell that there is the usual frustration of Dirk trying to get at what your whole deal is, which has been a constant truly since the second you laid eyes on each other. But I think you can also tell that there's some hurt there. When he talks about giving away secrets and not knowing that, having a hard time knowing that there might not be a time when you feel comfortable giving away yours. The other image that pops into your mind, because you do have these two, like in a standard sense, these two different thoughts bouncing through your head. Like you said, the juggling metaphor is apropos, but you also know that if one hand is juggling proving yourself, like you said, and the other hand is on keeping everyone safe, it's hard to keep everyone safe when you have one hand tied behind your back. I think...
And I would tell this through... Sorry, when you say that, that's a reflection of
yeah,
what
you were
I'm-
rolling
okay.
an insight check on yourself, and also a little bit...
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah, and also a
Damn,
little bit...
Dirk, that's
also a little bit on Dirk, just seeing... I think the surprising thing is seeing the hurt in Dirk's eyes, and that's what sparks your self-reflection.
Dirk, I think I owe you an apology. The very first time we played what's Tal call it, the truth game. I was not ready to play it, nor were you. No. And I think there was a moment last night where you were ready to play it, and I wasn't. And I believe that wasn't very fair of me. I answered you honestly last night that I am not an Aes Sedai. Do you know how things work in the tower?
Not specifically. Rumors. I know how things kind of work, but not the in-depth, right?
No, yeah, and I mean, like, the whole... it wasn't even an insight check for you, but the whole
yeah.
I have sisters, you know what that refers
100%.
to. In
Like,
terms,
there's a reason I was really concerned when you're like, I sent a letter. Like,
yeah, yeah, you know that people train and that they call each other sisters. Maybe not necessarily too immersed, since you weren't a politician necessarily, not too immersed in that.
When girls are sent to the tower, they do not become Aes Sedai immediately. They have to train. I've reached a step that is not that of an Aes Sedai. I'm an accepted someone who must prove their worth and study to be ever considered for an Aes Sedai. I have still a long ways to go to prove myself to them. The vision at the White Tower is different than the one I hold myself. There are a lot of, let's say, extremists and their views about those who channel. There's a lot of extreme views about many things there. But the only way to see change in this world is to be part of the voices that make the decisions. And so I strive to be one of them. I don't want you to think that I am here to put you away or lock you up or call people down upon you, because that's not why I'm here. I'm here to prove myself by helping take down the false dragon. And I will continue to do that. But I do not want you to believe that I'm here to harm you. I'm here to protect you, as you have said you will protect me and those around us. We are a team, Dirk.
So you're not different. Those voices, it's all just normal channeling for you. It was all lying.
No. No, I have a long ways to go to learn how to control the one power, but the surges that you and I get, although they manifest differently, I feel them too.
More specifically, in terms of just so that there's not a miscommunication here, the voices that he's referring to, you know and have been told through study that is an independent thing of the channeling. The fact that
it's
you,
not the addiction to the one power. It's the
not by no means. By no means. This is something that you had when you were a child.
Yeah.
After all, right?
Yeah.
There are occasionally people who manifest strange talents. Some of them don't even have to channel to have these talents. The fact that you do channel heightens yours, of course, but this phenomenon of the voices is something independent of channeling.
Okay.
So just to make
So
sure
it's independent of channeling. Okay.
Yeah, it's heightened by the fact that you do, because you can manipulate certain things, but it's independent of channeling. You've had that since you were born.
I'm not quite sure what the voices are. I'm still trying to figure them out. I think we're both on the same page for that.
Paige, I'm torn. On one hand, I think we're all happy that you just shared something fantastical and large. On the other hand, I've just learned, and you've been in contact with Aes Sedai, giving them our location the entire time I've been with you.
When?
That letter we found in the last town? How did they know we were there?
They didn't. They left it there for me.
Roll me an insight check.
16.
That's true.
And how did they know you were going to be here?
I think it was what
No.
happened at the wall.
Time flash. I don't know that you got a letter. I just know that you wrote
Oh,
it.
That's true.
Sure.
Yeah.
Why would you send them a letter here?
Because I received this one. And I'll hold it up.
So they knew you were coming here.
I guess what happened at the wall traveled to them because I was surprised to find it as well. These letters, you have to remember, I don't control them. They find me.
If her idiot brothers heard about what happened at the wall, why wouldn't Aes Sedai?
That's probably why.
Normally I'd be offended, but it's true.
Objectively. Yeah.
Dirk, I'm going to trust you with something. In this letter, I was told not to go north. It's dangerous. I've been told to stay away. But I'm here on this boat with you, and we're going to find Tal's brother. I don't know what else can prove to you where my values lie.
I hear you, and that's really the problem is, oh my God, Paige. I understand. I'm angry. But I guess not really at you, right? You did such a good job of keeping your cards close. Maybe I just should have done the same a little bit more. I appreciate Tal.
No. She was wrong in hanging on to this for so long. I'm glad you've released a little bit of it. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks. I do appreciate it, but I need to go lie down and think. And I'm just gonna back away and maybe just start rowing or go into the cabin or something.
I'm gonna go lie down and think.
Lie down and think.
Spinning the boat in circles, no one's rowing on the other side. What's Lior? Because you guys are all in proximity, so you're hearing all of this, certainly.
When Dirk would leave, Paige would probably not look at Tal. She would just look at Lior and not say anything.
That was good. It was a start. Perhaps a little late, but better late than never.
That's what my mom said about Cyrus and Otto the entire time they were growing up.
That's not going to help Paige feel better at the moment, but that's an interesting observation.
Lior, I think a part of what struck you in that conversation is the saying that is Paige saying that she wasn't accepted. You know that it's pretty rare that accepted are
allowed to leave the White Tower?
Like, not only allowed to leave the White Tower, but like the idea of an accepted being sent on like a mission is pretty peculiar, very fascinating.
Well, Dirk will come around. But if there is more to say, I would be conscious to say it while there's still a chance. Doesn't need to be now, but we're running out of time.
Lior, I don't know what it is that I can say. I don't understand how the currency is truth, whereas out into this world, any piece of information about myself can lead to my arrest, lead to my death. I'm not afraid of us here. I'm afraid of what can happen to us. The more Tal knows, if they capture Tal, and I'm fully ignoring Tal, if they capture Tal and torture her for information and hold her brother as a price, what happens to all that information? What happens to Dirk? What happens to myself?
I'll be honest, Paige. If they capture Tal, then I cannot speak for either of you, but I'm probably dead already. Because they're only capturing Tal if I cannot stop them. The currency of truth is important. Yes, it has consequences in the world, but it is the currency for family, for love. Shouldn't be something that is... To view it as a currency is to view love as something to be bartered with and for. But family doesn't see things as transactional. We see things as taking care of one another. And I realize that it is happening very fast, and I realize I say that a lot as an Ogia, but what we have here is special, and you only get out of it what you put in. I just don't want you to miss the chance to put in your fair share, because what the rest of us have to offer, I wouldn't miss it for the world.
There's a certain pang when he talks about the difference between and saying what we have here is family, and family is not transactional. And there's a certain pang about the transactionality of your sisters sending you out here to do something for them so that you can get what you want. Doesn't need to be a formulated response to this. What I will say is, speaking of running out of time, you guys have this sort of a mood and about 2 days to sail. The wind has died down. You've lost like the great speed that seemed to almost from the moment that Dirk channeled to command Larry, the great wind that seemed to aid you along your way. That goes. So you feel like you have about 2 full days of sailing, and that you should arrive early morning based on the map that Adeline gave you at Stedding Jinsiun, or a place where you'll have to find a place to sort of, harbor. The going is slow. You have to clear some ice every once in a while with the oars. Over the following 2 days of travel, please let me know if there are any specific actions that you take while you are sailing. I'm going to go ahead and assume that you find food. I'm going to go ahead and assume that both of you guys try and do it, and Tal succeeds, because
harpooning fish out of the...
we only have 2 of those left.
I strap one of my darts to the end of my quarterstaff and just go...
Unbelievably effective.
Yeah.
There's a moment where you guys are in a real wide stretch of river and no one kind of set it and forget it, and you guys are all just standing there watching like, how does she do that?
The refraction of light is going to be very... Oh! How did you... Incredible!
Speared 3 fish.
They never stood a chance.
So yeah, are there any actions or conversations that you want to take over the next 2 days?
Tal's avoiding Paige
Okay.
as much as one can on a boat.
It's tough. Yeah. The cabin's small.
Lots of time in the crow's nest.
Yeah.
It's 10 feet up.
You try sleeping up there one night, but get like the absolute most like insane cold the next day, and quickly decide to just huddle it up.
I would say probably nothing specific, but like I envision after the first night, like we wake up for I guess watch.
Yeah.
And I like go take watch and just feel that like whispering and presence in my ear, and I like look down at Paige. Like I go to like reach for my sword, and then like I kind of twitch my head and go, and then for the next couple of days, like I'll just be nicer towards Paige. Mm-hmm. I'll just be like, good sleep, Paige. I'll take driving for today. Just like trying to do something a little bit extra.
Cool. Roll me 2 wisdom saving throws.
Oh yeah. The first one is
So harsh.
an 8.
Okay.
The second one is a 20.
I didn't know you could do that.
So that that kind of narratively you kind of just described what that looks like. So you do have that voice and going like, and even during that conversation with Paige,
Yeah, it was really bad.
it's like it's not even a voice. You just hear this like like a hiss, and you do have this moment when you're on watch, and it's like,
She's finally admitted it. Listen, you can think I'm you. You can think I'm your brother. You can think whatever you want, but we've both known that our whole mission is to eradicate that. And her whole mission is to eradicate you. So what are you gonna do about it?
She hasn't done anything to me.
What are you going to do about it?
Right now,
Dirk?
nothing. Neither are you.
How's that?
We're just gonna wait. She said she didn't write anything. She didn't write anything. But we just keep an eye on her. And around everybody else. We protect Tao.
Sure. You sound pretty certain that waiting's a good idea. Why's your hand on your hilt?
I need to go for some fresh air. And that's...
yeah. And then just really like a force of like sheer, it's whispering is like,
That was all you, big guy.
but it's really like a forceful imposition of like fake it till you make it positivity that somehow, Nat 20 style, worked.
Sorry. 18 plus 2.
That's still pretty good.
It's still pretty good.
20 is still a success.
Still pretty good.
Yeah, but you managed to then be like alarmingly positive, but not in like
Jarringly positive.
but like the jarring thing is that it seems genuine. It's not like the it's not like you forcing a compliment like that first couple days that you're on the road. You're like, Leor, you are the most not trollic man in the world. Like it seems like coming from a place of genuine kindness.
That'll be it.
Cool, Leor.
I think Leo is just doing his best to try and maintain kind of a certain ambiance of cohesion between the group. He's not actively doing anything, but he's just trying to, knowing that he's a little bit of a softer presence amongst the group members, just try and use that to ease any tension.
Cool. And I think you do manage to ease a lot of the tension. Like, you have this very naturally soothing presence, and you know that sometimes it's not words that are needed. And you've realized this unintended effect of, like, mending the boat, and you've started sort of, like, tending to a little bit of a garden on one section of the wall of the boat where you guys aren't hopping over anytime soon.
Tickling a little sprout. You're not a weed. I'm not going to rip you out. Don't you worry.
And as you're tending to your garden and remembering your garden back home and thinking, oh, it'll be good to see a garden again, a sobering thought occurs to you. And all of a sudden, the tension that you have erased from everybody else goes directly to your shoulders. You're going to a stedding. There's going to be elders at the stedding. Mm-hmm. You kind of went rogue. You just went outside without the elders in Shangloon having reached a decision. It's been months, even at the pace that you guys exchange information. That's enough time for... Oh, God.
Oh, boy. Time to put the lying to a test.
I feel like over the last couple of days, Tal would have been doing two things.
Yeah.
One of them is getting really comfortable seeing Leor.
Sweat.
No, as kind of like a jungle gym. Like, Tal's kind of realized that for the first time, she can just jump up on his back, crawl up on his back, and kind of perch over his shoulder and be like, what you doing? And he can take the weight.
Yeah.
And so I feel like Tal's fully like perched up on the shoulder, like, can you make that flower pink? Like, fully.
How do you feel about that?
No boundaries.
None.
I know you have a lot of brothers, but you must still ask permission.
I'll jump down. Can I crawl up on your back?
Yes. I did this to myself.
It actually kind of does get some of the tension out of your shoulders a little bit, so...
The second thing I imagine I would do is I love hearing Lior speak and asking all the questions and getting all the answers, but Tal has found a new game, which is ask Lior questions that she knows the answer's not going to be what Dirk would have answered, and answer it in Dirk's earshot and get them to debate things. That's my plan for the next 2 days.
You are
Give
evil.
me an example, please.
Lior's trying his best to keep the peace, and Tal is being a shit
Yeah, big time.
stirring the pot.
So you've read a lot of books, Lior, right?
Yes, of course.
Yeah? Have you read any like history books about war or battles or like from a really, really long time ago?
Of course, there's all types of historical events, but wars tend to be the saddest thing. All of that death, I still believe it does take a toll on us.
But what about battle strategy? Like if there was a whole battle in front of us, like how would you kind of arrange the soldiers? Just strategy.
Well, I suppose the most efficient way to do it would be, perhaps you do clumps of them, right? You put some outer guard, you put some inner guards. I don't know. It seems
Clumps?
yeah. You make.
Did you not see Paige just throw a fireball and kill like 8 people? You don't want clumps. You gotta have them spread out.
Okay. Well, that's another valuable strategy.
Is that how you Ogiers fight all in one bunch?
I mean, there's different. Well, sometimes yes. Sometimes we don't really fight, to be honest.
Well, that's why you have terrible. Look, this is how you do it.
Success.
This is the guy you're trusting in battle. Smite him right now.
Smite him.
Kill for me, Dirk.
So just fully poking and prodding until they're just like, just full screaming at each other.
I grew up with a lot of brothers and sisters.
Dirk, it just devolves at one point, like, you get out of bed, Paige, and Dirk is just going, no, the best rodent is a squirrel. And Lior's very calmly going, I think that we underestimate the groundhog.
Let's agree to disagree. It's okay.
No, you're wrong.
Paige.
Paige, the first day after the conversation, would spend a lot of time looking into the horizon, whether she's driving or not. A lot of squinting. By the second day, you would see her brow is a bit furrowed as she has something on her mind, and she doesn't say anything during most of the day, but as the sun starts to set, she's going to listen to... You'll see her smile a little bit listening to the debates. She's going to take a tour around the boat, fold the ropes, put them where they hang, brush her fingers against the petals of the small, tiny flowers left on the moss patches. And in the middle of... And in the middle of the groundhog argument, she's going to say, listen.
I don't hear anything.
Shh, it's the horizon.
Meanwhile, there's so many voices in her head. Shut up. I want to share with you all something. Tal knows that I have received a letter, and I want to share it with you.
I didn't know you received a letter.
Now you do.
I knew you sent a letter.
To be honest, I didn't know I received a letter until I asked to send the letter.
Maybe I should plug my ears in case I get captured and tortured for information.
No, if you get captured and tortured for information, I'm probably not going to be too far away. Trying to get you uncaptured with your new brother over here. I'm sharing this because I want to let you all know how I see things. You are here, Dirk, because you are running away, but also trying to protect. Lior, from what I understand, you have a task that was given to you. And you're trying your best to do that. And Tal, we are going to rescue your brother. I am here because I have to inform the tower, give them news about the false dragon and his whereabouts. And they keep me informed about what is happening on their end, how I'm doing, where they are. I'm reading you this because I want you to know where I am in my task as well. And in doing so, you have all the information I do when I am making my decisions. I'm sharing this with you because I want to be as transparent with you all as possible. I wouldn't be talking about this, and I certainly would not be reading this to you if there was any part of me that wanted to hide who I was or what I was doing.
Insight check.
Sure.
Thank you. 13.
17 deception. No, I'm joking. My dear Dirk. No, my dear sister. Our sincere apologies for vacating the premises so quickly. No choice but to move on to brighter days. Lately, the territory has grown dangerous. You would be wise to be careful, sister. Better yet, get to the capital or flee to safety in Tarabon or some other country. Rest assured, we have made our way to safety. Unlike our cousins downriver, we knew better than to flee northward. South to the city was our safe haven. The timing couldn't have been worse. The kids were so excited to see their aunt. They'll have to wait until the war ends, I suppose. Have you been keeping safe, sister? Every day we hear more and more troubles emerging from across the country. By the light, it frightens me. Usually this time of year, we would be telling you to stay here longer with us. Yet it is far more prudent for us all to get moving to where we must go. Even in absence, sister, you stay in my heart. See that you stay safe and travel swiftly with safety in mind. Please take care. You see,
I didn't understand any of that.
my task, the reason I have met all of you, was to follow these orders. This letter tells me to go that way,
Back where we came.
to safety. I'm on this boat with you. And I will look at Tal and say, Tal, if you don't believe me, we can read the letter together later.
Paige,
Yes.
why? As far as I know, when there are false dragons, the Reds are sent out. When there's news to be gathered, there are sisters, there are warders. Why would they send you in harm's way? I seem to recall that there are not as many channelers as there used to be. I would have thought you'd be precious.
I volunteered. I argued my case, saying that I was the best candidate for this. I have a way with talking, but more so a way with listening to people. I believed that I could get to bed right away. Paige goes to bed. I believe that...
That's all for today, everyone.
I believe that I can get more information faster than most and help the tower more than anyone else could. This is what I said I could do, And this is the burden that I've placed upon my own back. This is the pressure that I have given myself.
Paige,
Yeah.
roll me an intelligence check.
It's a natural 20.
You might have forgotten this because you haven't been diligent, but usually there is some degree of a code implemented in the letters that are sent to you. The oblique meaning that or the obvious meaning that you see on the page is not necessarily the information that is meant to be conveyed to you. And we flash back as you're talking about this, and we flash back to that moment that you argued your case, and that moment where that smirking face of Lucille Sedai, who first found you, is looking at a very angry-looking woman with brown hair that has started to gray, which is quite unbelievable. And she goes, now, Adelaide, I think that we can understand that Kashmiri here is really quite uniquely set up to handle this situation. You understand that she's got a skill set that... and this woman turns around and goes, "That's enough, Lucille!" And looks at you and then composes herself. "Sister, you understand that I have a differing opinion, that this child," which is a bit of a slight for the position that you hold, "this child is more volatile than most. But it seems I have been overruled," and looks at you like furious. This is a woman who has pushed you harder than anyone in the tower, and is as much the reason for your progress as she is the reason that they had to catch you and drag you back into the city 3 times when you tried to run away as a novice. Goes, "Now, child, I have to abide by this, but I don't have to give it my best effort. Do you understand?
I understand.
So tell me why it is that I should trust you, and why it is that I should work with you, and put my network in your hands."
Because you have imparted all the knowledge and strategy of the best cases like this before. You have shared with me the tools.
Hey, save it.
You asked the questions. I thought I'll save it.
Don't give me the answer that you think I want to hear, because guess what? I don't want to hear it.
It's a difficult game.
Why do you care about this, Kashmiri?
I just wish you could see my potential, my true potential.
No flowery
the way
words.
I see it. Adelaide Sedai, I'm going to impress you. I'm going to impress everyone here, and you will see what I am capable of. Mark my words.
That's, not exactly the most inspirational or original statement I've ever heard. Lucille, I know this is somewhat of your pet project, but I really don't have to put my resources behind this. I can really give it a half measure.
Adelaide Sedai, are you scared of me succeeding?
Excuse me, child.
I'm just curious. I want to bring the best to the tower. Don't you want that as well?
Of course. And I believe that a part of bringing the best to the tower is weeding out what doesn't constitute that.
But you see, this mission, this one was made for me. Listening and bringing the information that you need back. I am in there already. This is what I do. You will see. It will only be good news, not good news.
Going to a civil war with a channeling madman, and that's good news.
Not good news in that sense. But you will be getting exactly what you need to get to make the changes that you believe need to be made. Isn't that what you want? The information from the source.
Of course.
That's what I'll get. From the source.
She just like mad dogs you for a solid 2 minutes.
Can make very, very slight movements.
What's Lucille? What is this Tai Chi? Ancient art that survived multiple breakings.
I'm so excited to do this. This is going to be a great victory for us. You're going to see. I'm going to bring back exactly what you want. And Lucille, and you, Adelaide Sedai, you'll be very proud.
You see Lucille's looking at you like a bit of a not so great smile because you haven't done a ton to sway over Adelaide Sedai. And Adelaide Sedai goes, well, I hope it's a success. For your sake. A lot more of a smile than usually is on the face of Adelaide Sedai. Because you've refused the test for the accepted one time. And
honing my craft, just practicing.
Well, what's interesting is that this is functioning as somewhat of a test as well, because if this doesn't go well, well, first of all, I don't know that you'll make it back alive. But if this doesn't go well, functionally, you can imagine that you've failed your test a second time. And once you start the test, well, you can't come back. So, just like claps you on the shoulder. Good luck with this fun mission full of good news, huh? Gives you a sarcastic thumbs up and walks off. And then you like sort of spiral back to this and this network of this most abrasive person that you've met who sends you these maddeningly intricate codes that you're just supposed to know. And this is sort of what you're trying to prove yourself to.
I work for a tough cookie. She's, the bar is high. I feel I put it there. Not sure if this constitutes going rogue, but I hope it works.
Sometimes you have to go big or go home. This is definitely not going home.
Yeah, that option is not on my table, unfortunately.
Paige, an interesting thing as you go to bed after this, I think there's sort of like a waiting for like, here are going to be all my great conciliatory conversations from everyone, you know, thanking you for sharing. Everyone doesn't necessarily do that. They kind of just nod and say thanks and look you in the eye a bit more. But there's no great, like, unraveling of all this tension. There's just, like, everyone exhales. But I think what you notice that is more peculiar to you, and it takes a while because of the pounding in your head from the anxiety of giving up this information that you cherish. Not that the information is what you cherish, but that information itself. But you find that there is not so much of a wind of noises in your mind, so much as there is a breeze. And you, looking at Lior, who is going, thanks, I'm sure we're all more relaxed now, and just turns around and you can see his shoulders are just like, so unbelievably hunched. You, I think, turning around, you look and you go to exhale and you realize you're already relaxed. And that it seems that, like, the burden of everyone needing to know your secrets, most of that burden was on you holding them. And you, I think, for that night, sleep not curled up in a ball, but just full like yoga corpse mode. Like you really have a deep sleep, I think maybe for the first time since you've been traveling with these people.
Yeah.
When Paige crawls into her bed, she finds the letter that she gave to Tal with a note scrawled at the bottom of it.
Were you reading that on the side?
Sorry?
I thought you were trying to break a code on the side.
No,
Okay.
the note that I scrawled at the bottom is,
sure did put a
did you
code in
crack the code?
Okay. I thought that because I was watching you, I saw that you had the letter. I was like, is she like... Yeah.
Is there a code to break from there?
I don't know.
Okay.
You don't know.
I don't know.
You don't know. The only one who knows about the code is Paige.
No, that Tal figures something's not right with the letter because it talks about family that she doesn't assume Paige has.
Right.
Or Paige wouldn't have revealed this letter to us if it was talking about her real family.
Yeah.
So Tal assumes that there's more to this letter.
For sure.
But whatever it is, she doesn't know. So she's just scrawled a letter to... It's kind of Tal letting Paige know either something's up with this letter and I know something's up with this letter, or you just read us this letter as a big reveal, but it didn't actually tell us anything because you didn't interpret it for us.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if Paige would have understood that.
No,
With
I think you probably sit with the letter for a little bit. I think you might spend a day working this up, and then this is the last night, and you have a good night of sleep, and then you sort of wake up to the reality of like right, I have to figure out what that actually meant.
Yeah.
Nope. But day arrives, and it's a slow going on this, the day of your arrival to where Stedding Jinsiun is. And looking at your map, you can see that it is sort of right off the river, not quite there, but there comes a point where it's not a decision is made for you guys of where you're going to dock this boat, because there becomes a point where the ice is built up as the river narrows and heads into the mountains that you're absolutely not, even with the reinforced metal tip of the boat, you're not getting past here. And so you sort of angle yourselves to the shore as much as you can and hop down. Go ahead and make me a cartography check, Lior.
That was intelligence with proficiency, I think?
I think so, yeah.
That is a 21.
That is a 21. You look at first in dismay, because the first note that is left, this is a very complicated map you guys are figuring out, where there are like pulley systems where you can pull out information for different places. It's very much like...
a little pop-up map?
Yeah, it's a children's book. Adeline really had a good time working on this map. And at first you're a little bit upset because the marker for where to enter the setting is look for the tree with the orange leaves. And you look around and there's no leaves on any tree. And at first you're like, oh no. But then you remember that if you take out the flap that you've pulled down and flip it upside, it has off-season instructions. And on the off-season instructions it says, line up the curve in the river with the tallest mountain peak, and you could see that there is a clear direction that you have to head in.
I mean, that could apply to all seasons. I mean, I love the woman, but geez, why wouldn't that be the main clue?
Did your girlfriend make that map?
Okay, you don't... I did not offer this. You can look at her letter again.
Roll me an insight check.
I'm just covering my map.
Leo, sharing your secrets is part of being a family. You should really tell us.
17.
Yeah, you've got a lot of brothers. You've grilled them about girls before.
You're just jealous.
Can I crawl up on your shoulder?
No!
No, we're seeing my people today.
My girlfriend's gonna be there.
Maybe.
Is she gonna be there?
No, I would hope not. No.
Why?
I hope she is safe.
Is it long distance?
Well, yes, she's not here, is she? But
That's true.
no, I hope she is safe and far away from here, because who knows how close the army of the dragon could be.
As you guys approach, you don't really see anything popping up, and Lior is walking confidently into what looks like a open field. Like there's not really any distinguishing markers here. There comes a point where Lior takes a step in front of you, and you step in and inhale. And even though it's still cold outside, a warmth enters your bones, enters your bloodstream that just sings within you, that is in harmony with the inner nature of who you are as an Ogier. And a refreshed and momentarily not stressed Lior turns to you guys, and you know that you have arrived in the steading.
We're here.
As you step in, you know something of what to expect. Walking in past some invisible threshold, and Tal, you just feel this sense of sort of otherness, this strange, a weird sort of clearing of the air. It's a totally clear skyline, but it's almost like it clarifies what it is to breathe as you step across, and it's just a confusing sensation. And you know what to expect, but
Is this the first time I've walked into a steading?
absolutely.
Okay.
But you've read.
Yeah.
And Dirk, it is a surprise for you. And so while you're able to brace yourself a little bit, you both feel you feel different reactions as you cross the threshold and feel this sense of clarification, and then just feel this sense of loss, this sense of, and you're hearing the voice going,
Listen, there's still time. I know that she's revealing a letter, but there could be more. There could be something more that she is
and the voice just cuts off. Not an inclination of the fact that there could be a voice. This sense of loss hits you, and a sense of weakness, both of you. But whereas for you, it just feels like you're tired once again, like before you attuned to this amulet. For you, you get a sense of calm. And for maybe the first time, even when you're having a good time and smiling, there's always a bit of a furrowing to your brow. I think for the first time, Dirk's face just goes. And although you feel this emptiness, you also feel that it is not crowded.
It's nice out here. It's quiet.
Is there anything that happens to the voices?
You hear a voice say,
It's nice out here. It's quiet.
you hear a voice say, the air feels weird here. And you hear a voice say,
Oh God, they're going to tell my parents.
and as Lior, you look at the calm Lior, who is now smiling and going, but his eyes are starting to go,
Help me!
yeah, there's a bit of a help me, and you hear, and you all turn around, and where you had thought you were entering an empty field, you now turn and see that there are like mounds of earth that have been raised, and large structures of trees that almost like form these little nooks within which perhaps a treehouse might be built, is what you're thinking. But stepping out from behind one of these trees is a tall, even for an Ogier, a tall Ogier woman who steps out with long tufted eyebrows that are not so much tufted because they are woven into the braids that encircle her head. Her head with a warm hat, a warm coat for the winter, and eyes as big as teacups, much like your friend Lior, who looks and says, Greetings, brother. Friends. You quickly get a sense that maybe Lior is hasty for an Ogier. And she says, I am Irene, daughter of Weath, daughter of Mazen, of Stedding Jinsiun. Be welcome. Such a long distance, Lior, son of Male, son of Thane.
Just, she knows my name, and Lior's like,
You've gone outside.
indeed.
Without permission.
I didn't realize I needed to ask for permission. I am a grown man.
Yeah.
She looks at you like sympathetically as you do this, and you say, I'm a grown man. She goes, in some instances, our elders are inclined to believe that it is better to ask for permission. No, that's not how it goes. It's better to follow the rule. No. Looks at you, and the smile is gone, and troubled look on her face, and goes, it is good that a stonemason has come. Sent expressly or not. Something is amiss. We need your help. And that's where we're gonna end for tonight.
Oh my god. We don't gotta help. We can just chill out here, guys.
I feel like that's even more worrisome. He's like, he was so ready to be in trouble that it's like, good you're here is like, what?
This is Tal's first realization that you left without permission.
I mean,
Well,
he's
no.
been lying to us this
No,
whole
we knew
time.
about this,
You
didn't
knew,
we?
you knew that I had stretched.
He's a naughty boy. Yeah, all right. Well, guys,
You're an
I
OG.
can't believe we did it.
We're still rolling.
We got through 2 days of travel in 2 hours. That's a new record.
Unheard of.
Absolutely unheard of.
3 days? 3 days?
Yes,
Could be.
2.5.
Because it was
Yeah,
2
something-
days after Morburn.
Yeah, something like that. It was a decent trek.
Are they counting the length of an episode and the number of brothers that we
mentioned
made?
that episode.
Yeah,
That's a
no,
two.
we're back
That's
up
a
to
two,
2 because
yeah.
we were at 2 for a while with Julian and Felix,
That's right.
and then we went to 0, which was quite honestly too harsh of a drop off.
No,
so
we brought our numbers
now,
back.
now we're back. We're back
we're
at
up
it.
to 2.
Your voyage along the River Bourne has ended. You have finally reached Lior's intended destination, which he became more trepidatious of as the time went on, and have had your first introduction to the Ogier that live in Stedding Jinsiun, and an introduction to possibly a problem that they've been facing. Could it be a problem just surrounding the neighboring army? Could it be a problem with the weather that is so unseasonable for this country in this time of the year? Or could it be a problem with the Waygate itself?
Or lice.
Honestly, a lot of hair could be head lice.
Could be lice.
If you want to tune in for the gang's ASMR scalp exam next episode, you could tune in.
Oh,
can
my
tune-
head's so itchy.
You can tune in next Tuesday night at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time to catch the next installment, as this party has now made it beyond the bounds of the actual enforceable rule of the Kingdom of Ghealdan, and are in the one safe pocket that is within the territory controlled by the people of the dragon, Loghain Ablar. I guess we'll all find out what happens next time on Who's Taking Watch, The Dragon's Might. Have a good night. I'm going to bed. Play that song again.
There ain't no taint on me. There may be taint on some of you.